Frag Squad? Welcome back to another video. Today we are playing through our Prestige mode in Black Ops 6. We are Prestige 3, level 23. Hoping to get some level up today while we discuss AEW Dynamite from last night. And boy, was it a show. We got a lot of things to discuss, so buckle in, stay tuned, and enjoy the ride. All right, Frag Squad, let's get into some gameplay, and as that loads up, we are going to go ahead and start talking about AEW Dynamite from last night. We started Dynamite out with Tony Schiavone coming out to the ring to introduce to the AEW crowd the Hurt Syndicate, is what they're going by here. MVP, Bobby Lashley, and Shelton Benjamin. They all came out, it looks like $1,000,000, dressed to the nine. They just look incredible. I'm really excited to see what they can do in AEW because I do think that faction is a force to be reckoned with, and boy, do they look like they're ready to take it over. During all of that, after MVP introduced everybody to the Hurt Syndicate as only MVP can do, we then received a video package of the attack they had on Swerve Strickland the other week. During that video package, Swerve Strickland then does come out and kind of cuts everything off. He comes running out looking like a bat out of hell. Man, he looked like he was ready to just murder. He comes out, eyes glazed over. He looks like he just crawled out of a hole. He's just got pissed in his eyes. He's carrying a chain. Like, he's just ready to tear somebody up. Oh. And as he's looking at everyone ready to tear him up, he's about ready to head to the ring. He then gets stopped by security. He doesn't make it to the ring. Microphone is then grabbed. He then calls out Bobby Lashley for a match at Full Gear. MVP grabs the microphone. He accepts the match for Bobby Lashley at Full Gear. Basically saying to him, we'll see you there, kid. So I'm looking forward to that match. I'm looking forward to this story, and I'm excited to kind of see where it goes. Leave in the comments there. What do you think is going to happen? Do we think that Swerve might turn on Prince Nana and join MVP in the Hurt Syndicate? I don't know. Time will tell. We also had a little run-in later on through the show where Renee is doing an interview with Ricochet, and the Hurt Syndicate comes out, and they come up to Ricochet and start talking about Ricochet's suit and how nice it is, and tell him basically that they're going to be watching him. So that's also an interesting development. We'll see what happens there as to whether or not Ricochet might join the folds. Who knows? But it's going to be fun to watch and going to be very interesting to see who they kind of pick out. Trying to get some gameplay going here. I mean, we are trying to prestige through at the end of the day, right? Not going to happen that way. And then after all of the MVP interactions, Swerve, all of that in the ring, we get a video package of Orange and Mox setting up for their match at Full Gear. Let me know what everybody thinks about that. I personally, I need more in this story. I need more with Mox, at least, in this story, and how everything's playing out and why. One thing Mox keeps on saying, it doesn't have to be like this. It doesn't have to happen like this. Okay, then why is it happening? That's my thing. I want to know the answers, and I'm sure that we're gonna get it. I'm sure that this is just going to be a long, drawn-out story, but I need at least some teasers, some hints, something along the lines to kind of keep me into it. Because right now I'm just confused. Why is it happening? Why is Mox taking this dark turn? Why is he saying it doesn't have to be this way? Who's controlling him? And that is a discussion that we can have as well. Do we think it could be Shane? Do we think that there is a deal with Shane McMahon and that this could all be a part of it all? That grenade just hit a wall. Did not throw that good at all. Did I just rhyme? I think I might have. We then get the tag match there between Claudio, Pac, and Orange Cassidy and Darby. One thing to note from this is when Claudio and Pac came out, the big screen there had the name Death Riders. So if I have to make a guess here, I'm going to assume that the BCC is long gone, no longer exists, and they're going to be going by Death Riders. That's just what one can assume. They all came out, of course, always looking like badasses, looking like they're just going to go into the ring and destroy whoever comes near them. But what ends up happening is Orange Cassidy comes out. He stops at the top of the ramp and says, come on, tells them to come to him. They get suckered in. Why they got suckered in, being the guys that are usually the ones to sucker everybody else in, they got baited. They go up the ramp. Orange Cassidy jumps off of the entrance there and dives onto everybody, and then the match ensues. What was a pretty good match. I enjoyed the tag match a lot. I thought the beginning was a little too much outside, kind of, especially seeing as we're also going to get another train wreck of a match later on in the card. So I wasn't really too... I wish it would have just been a traditional tag match, not all the outside stuff at the start when we've got a train wreck of a match coming later on. That's just my opinion. That's just me. I'm very old school kind of wrestling fan. I do like the storytelling and the psychology more than just all the craziness, but all the craziness is fun to watch. I will say. That's what AEW got me back into it, because of the craziness. Now, I like the craziness, I like the flips and the hoo-has, but let's start piecing some stuff together. Let's start getting the ball rolling on some stories and some psychology, and I think we're slowly starting to get there, especially with this Mox storyline. I think it's going to be one of their long-running stories that are going to continue on for maybe a year or so. Maybe we don't get this playing out until All In. It's a possibility, and I wouldn't really be mad at it, but they've got to keep me into it. And so during that match, we end up getting kind of towards the end, again, a great match. There was one spot there where Claudio press slammed Darby into the posts, just like a rag doll, breaking him in half. Man, Darby Allin can take a beating. Say what you want about the guy, like him, hate him, doesn't really matter. You can't argue with the fact that that man can take damage like no one I've ever seen before. Hey, look, we got a best play. Nice. I will take that. Best play of the game while we're talking about some wrestling? All right, then. So some crazy spots in the match. Towards the end there, we get Marina Shafir comes out. She kicks the ref out of the ring, and then she starts to choke out Orange Cassidy. Then Darby comes in with a skateboard, starts swinging it to try and take control of everything. he just starts fighting back like Darby Allin does. From that point, everybody kind of takes control. The Death Riders get control of everything. You've got Pac and Marina holding Orange Cassidy while Wheeler takes a knee right to the dome, knocks him out cold. As soon as that happens, Briscoe's music hits. Out comes Briscoe and the Conglomerate, and then Death Rider runs out of the ring and they scurry off. So a nice little way to end that, a nice little way to tie in a few things there. We know that Orange Cassidy was part of the Conglomerate there for a little bit, and we're not kind of sure where Orange Cassidy sits now, other than he has declared that he is going to be the guy to carry the banner for AEW. Let's see how that plays out, and let's see how it goes. I do love Orange Cassidy a lot. I like him a lot. He's a day one guy, so who better than to really carry that banner than one of your day one guys? All right, and up next we have Briscoe, Ishii, and Kyle O'Reilly versus Jericho, Big Bill, and Brian Keith. This is that train wreck match that I was talking about, the Fight Without Honor match. Those are basically just Ring of Honors, no DQ matches, anything goes, and that's exactly what we received. That match, within the first few minutes, everyone had gone through a ladder and or a table. Chairs were all over the place. It did not take long to start getting a little crazy. And I'm going to go ahead and say this and say it now. I had asked everybody the other day in the Frag Squad, who is your favorite wrestler of all time? Who do you have as your number one? Here's mine, Chris Jericho. Chris Jericho is the GOAT. This man has no business whatsoever going through tables, ladders, getting hit with chairs. He doesn't have to do all of this, but yet he continues to keep doing it. He continues the grind. He's wrestling all the time. He's on TV every week. He's got the Fozzy band that is still alive and strong and touring on a regular basis. And he's still killing it, man. Killing it. The guy's unstoppable. He's got the Jericho Cruise that I would love to go to. That is one of my bucket list things that I would love to do here, hopefully within the next few years. We'll see. Jericho, hey, if you're listening, have me out. I'd love to be there. But one of my favorites, one of my favorites growing up. I've basically followed him and have been watching him my whole life. He's been in wrestling for as long as I've been alive. So I watched him WCW, ECW, WWE, now AEW. He's the GOAT. I've got some pictures signed of him. He's the best, man. And you can't say anything bad about the guy. I mean, he's going out there and bumping like crazy, and he doesn't even have to do it. In that match, the way that it ends, Briscoe takes an elbow off of a ladder to Jericho through a table. Brian Keith does come in, though, and saves the day. And then after that, some fighting ensues, and then Ishii takes out Jericho and gets the pin. What do we think about that? What do we think about Ishii getting the pin over Jericho? Are we going to get a Ishii-Jericho Ring of Honor title match? I would assume so. Is it going to be at Full Gear, or is it going to be at the Ring of Honor pay-per-view whenever that's coming around? I'm imagining we'd probably have one soon. I don't know for sure. I also want to get your guys' thoughts, too. What do we think about Jericho being the Ring of Honor champion again? What are our thoughts there? Do we think that there's a TV deal in the mix for Ring of Honor, and that's why he's got the title? Because that does tend to be the trend. That's what AEW did to get everything out the gate, was give the title to Jericho. So maybe this is a way to get Ring of Honor out there on TV. Possible. No better big name than Jericho. We then, after the match, we end up getting a little promo video from Mox, Wheeler, and Marina. Mox doing all the talking. Basically just telling Orange Cassidy that Wheeler Yuta is not his young boy anymore, not his trainee anymore, that he basically belongs to Mox, he's Mox's soldier, and that he is also disappointed in Darby Allin. He mentions to make a point there of how disappointed in Darby Allin he is. I think he was hoping Darby would join the fray. Obviously, Darby did not. And that's the right decision there. I think Darby is way too big of a babyface to even attempt to try and flip him like that. I just don't know if it would work. We still have to get Mox hated. If we're being honest here, Mox is still not hated as much as I think Mox needs to be hated for this to all work. So we still really need that. So there's definitely was no way you were going to get the heat and the hate on Darby. And then we get Adam Cole and Malachi Black. I was looking forward to this match, but I was also a little bit worried about this match because the hype that it had when those two faced off in NXT. I can't see anything. Oh, because when they faced off in NXT, it is probably one of the best NXT matches, even still to this date. But the match was very good. I thought they did a fantastic job. The ending, however, very confusing to me. What did that ending mean? Is Malachi Black retiring? Is he injured? Is he leaving AEW and going somewhere else? I don't know, but that was a very heavy retirement-esque ending. Malachi Black hit his finisher. Adam Cole kicked out. No one ever kicks out of Malachi Black's spinning kick. Cole did. I don't know why I shot my teammate there. Not paying any attention. But Cole did. He kicked out. And right after the kick out, Adam Cole got himself situated to where he was able to then land his knee shot to the back of Malachi's head. Malachi sat there Indian style like he does and allowed it. He was sitting there crisscross applesauce ready for the shot in the head. And he just kind of let Cole do it and was one of those like, yeah, it's time scenarios, it felt like. I don't know. It was just a weird ending, and I'm not sure how to take it. I'm not sure what to think about it. If Malachi is injured, we obviously wish him the best in a speedy recovery. If he goes anywhere else, I'd love to see him wherever it is that he goes. Or if he just ends up calling it quits for now, you know what? We thank you for all the entertainment, and you're definitely one of the best strikers in wrestling, and has been for quite some time, and probably will be one of the best strikers in wrestling. So we'll see how it all plays out. We'll see how that goes, because again, I'm not too sure what that ending was all about, and I don't know where I was looking at there either, because I knew he was on the left. The gameplay right here, right now, is not great, squad. It's not great. But I'm excited to talk Dynamite, though. I'm excited about the Dynamite talk. That's what it is. So bear me on the gameplay while we discuss wrestling. All right? But after the match, they did hug. They embraced each other there. So like I said, it did leave a little bit of confusion. I wasn't sure what's going on there, but I'm sure we'll get some more takeaway here soon. And then after that, we get Renee doing an interview in the back with Jay White. Hangman comes in, interrupts that interview, attacks Jay White. They fight. They get out to the arena and they fight. And then Hangman gets Jay White kind of hung up on one of the guardrails there by his ankle. So he starts attacking the ankle. He grabs a chair like he's going to attack him with the chair. And then Juice comes out, steals the chair. They start fighting again. White then gets back at Hangman, and then Hangman runs off like the coward that Hangman is. This feud, though, is and will be something very good. I think Hangman, honestly, no matter who you put him up against, he's going to have a feud for the ages. Wow, I messed that all up, guys. That was awful. That was terrible. But yeah, I think anybody you put Hangman up against, that feud is going to be great. Hangman can make anything out of nothing. He's just that good. And I love that he is getting the star power that he deserves and is in a spot that he deserves, because he does nonetheless deserve that spot. All right, and we get Renee back again. Renee is a busy lady tonight. She was a busy lady last night. In this interview, she's got Chris Statlander back there with her, talking about the match coming up for the TBS Championship against Monet. Then during that interview was just a quick little walkthrough, really. Like, you know, Chris stopped and said, yeah, I'm going to beat Monet. Did her spiel. And then you hear what sounds to be tires squealing. And all of a sudden the camera cuts. Statlander's on the ground. And you've got Monet screaming at Camille in the driver's seat of this SUV. You missed her. You didn't hit her. They tried to run her over. I don't know what it is with AEW lately, but attempted murder seems to be the overall plot in these feuds, because they tried to straight run her over, and poor Renee had to almost damn near dive to get out of the way. You better watch Renee. She's the angel of AEW. You cannot hurt her. Don't touch Renee. Don't come close to her. Don't be squealing your tires near her. All right? Monet better get it together, and Camille better learn to drive. She obviously needs to be playing GTA, because she has no idea how to run people over. If you're going to do it right. Jeez, Camille. And then once Statlander kind of comes to there for a little bit, she then realizes what happened. She goes over to the SUV, drags them all. I believe she starts with Monet, drags Monet out first, starts wailing down on her. Camille then runs over, tries to save her, and then Chris wails up on her, takes her arm, slams it into the SUV door. So she's incapacitated. She's out now. Arms broke. That's what, I mean, at least that's what it would look like. And then Chris just starts wailing down on Monet. Starts beating her down, and then takes her up for a slam on the hood of the car. And then that's when security comes out and stops Chris Statlander. Now, I will say this. I'm a little confused as to the packaging for Camille. I was under the impression that she was supposed to be a force, a domination, yet in her matches, she's almost not being looked that way. And then she gets attacked in the back and doesn't get any offense in at all. I get and understand that the baby face is protecting herself here, and that's what we kind of want to do. But just overall leading up to this point, I don't feel like Camille has looked as strong as I thought she was supposed to. Let me know your guys' opinion there on that. All right, we then get the patriarchy coming out. During this segment, they're all out in the ring. Christian is another guy that I have been watching my whole life, that I love and adore. This man can do anything and is by far one of the greatest heels in the business right now. The only person getting more heat than him is Don Callis. And that says a lot because Don Callis is hated by everybody. So if Christian can get there and get hated by everybody too, then he's doing it right. But that man, I mean, you could, on the drop of a dime, he could swing it all back around again. He's just so good at what he does. Take notes, everybody. If you're wanting to be a heel in the business, I'm going to tell you who you need to pay attention to. That's Christian, that's Don Callis, and that's Bully Ray. Bully Ray is another guy that can make you hate him so easy. It's easy to do. It's easy to hate Christian too. It's easy to hate Don Callis. They just do it very well. But Christian, he goes on and talks about how, you know, that Kip Sabian is now official member of the patriarchy. He officially announces that. Kip Sabian's kind of been following him around here lately, trying to get his attention. Well, Kip, you got it. You've got the attention. You are now part of the patriarchy. He goes on to talk about how Kip Sabian needs a father figure. He going on about that spiel. I love it. It's ruthless. And then he continues to look over at Nick and says, Kip is the son that he wished he had had, and he's doing things that his other son wished he would do, basically saying that, you know, Nick's not stepping up to the plate like he thought he would. So that was an interesting little take there. We'll see how that plays out. What is... Oh, you down here. Oh, and then I get shot from over there. So Christian just goes on, and then Hook comes out. Christian then admits that he did attack Taz. Tells Hook the reason why is because he feels like Taz isn't being a good enough father for Hook, basically, and that he wants to be Hook's father. And this whole thing with the patriarchy and Christian being everybody's dad is just so good. So good. But so he goes on, says he attacks Taz. He goes on to basically, you know, pardon my French, but shit on Taz the whole time. Just completely destroying him while Taz is just laid up at home after a knee surgery, can't defend himself at all. So Taz, I'm sorry, buddy. We're here for you. We wish you a speedy recovery, and we know that you're not a shit father, no matter what Christian says. We then get a little segment there with Don Callis in the back doing an interview, and then a man comes up and looks like he'd be security for the president, just jacked, suited up, looking just dangerous as all get out, really. But earlier in the day, we had MJF in a segment on the phone calling somebody and saying, hey, basically, I need you to meet with this guy. We have no idea who he was on the phone with, and we had no idea who he was talking about. So during this Don Callis interview, this man approaches and gives Don Callis the Dynamite diamond ring, basically saying, you know, we need you to take care of Adam Cole. Where you at? But he says, basically, we need you to take care of Cole, gives him the Dynamite diamond ring. And so we're assuming that the guy that was on the phone was the guy indeed delivering the Dynamite Diamond Ring, and we're assuming the guy he was talking about would have been Don Callis. MJF's enlisting in Don Callis' help to try and take out Adam Cole. Because if Adam Cole and Roderick Strong both win all of their matches, then it will become a triple threat match. It will be MJF, Adam Cole, and Roderick Strong in a triple threat match. So MJF obviously doesn't want that, so he's now trying to destroy Adam Cole. So we will see how that all plays out. I believe we get a, we get a video package there and an announcement during the match here that it will be Takeshita and Adam Cole next week. So there's who Don Callis picks. Don Callis picks Takeshita to take on Adam Cole next week. We also received a video package there showing Okada and showcasing the Continental Classic. That tournament will be coming up again here soon. So they were just talking about Okada in the video package. It talks about how there's only one other Japanese wrestler who has more tournament wins than Okada. And Okada is now looking to take that throne and become the professional wrestler with the most tournament wins. With this Continental Classic, I believe that would push him to that point. So we will see. All right, and we get our final match of the night, and it's Takeshita and Kyle Fletcher versus Ricochet and a surprised teammate. Surprise teammate is Hobbs. Did not expect Hobbs. I really didn't. I didn't think about that one at all, but it does make perfect sense. And they made a very good point on saying why it's Hobbs. Hobbs, if we remember when he got injured, was a part of the Don Callis family. He now feels as if the Don Callis family has forgotten him. And he's not wrong. They just replaced him and moved on. Don Callis family and Hobbs who? So Hobbs very upset at the Don Callis family, looking to get back at them, so he teams up with Ricochet to take them on. Very good match, by the way. I thought that match was really good. Had some "this is awesome" chants. The match was very well done. I do have a few things here regarding the match that we will look over and discuss as well. I made some notes on the match. But before I can look at that, I do want to try and sneak up on these guys here. Oh, ran out of ammo. You know how hard it is to play a game and talk wrestling at the same time? I will master it eventually. It will happen. So let's take a look here. We're just going to stand here real quick. We had a German suplex that was reversed by Ricochet. So Takeshita went to go put one of his deadlift German suplexes on Ricochet. And Ricochet straight up reversed out of it into a backflip and landed on his feet. It was wild. We had a shooting star press from Ricochet that he landed on to Takeshita. Takeshita kicks out at 2.5. I mean, this match had a lot of good spots in it, a lot of good points, especially between Ricochet and Takeshita. Those two together are going to be magic. I'm really enjoying what they're doing, and I think that feud between those two in the matches that they can have is just going to be really, really good. And then after the shooting star press from Ricochet, he does set himself up to hit that new finisher there, and he does get the 3 count on Takeshita. Once the match is over, Fletcher grabs a chair and just starts swinging. He starts going to town on everybody. Once he gets them down, he's standing over Ricochet, and then United Empire theme hits. Mark Davis comes running out. He gets in Fletcher's face. Fletcher gets in his face. Fletcher then pushes him. Mark Davis pushes back, and Mark Davis is not a small boy. That's a big man. So when Mark Davis pushes back, you fly backwards a little bit, and that's exactly what happened. Kyle Fletcher got put on his ass, and then a brawl just kind of ensues from there. Everybody's kind of fighting, and then as everybody's fighting and coming out, we then get Will Ospreay. Will Ospreay then comes out looking literally looking like he was sitting in the back relaxing, and he just runs out. Hair's a mess. Looks like he just was taking a nap, but he comes running out pissed off, mad, as he should be. Kyle Fletcher is his boy, but Kyle Fletcher has been brainwashed by Don Callis and now doesn't know who he is. But in the ending of it all, you get Will Ospreay, Ricochet, Mark Davis, those guys. They're all standing in the ring. As far as the other guys that came out, you had Brian Cage and Lance Archer also came out to try and help the Don Callis family. And yeah, there was a beat down there for a while, but then Ricochet and company and Will Ospreay and company got a hold of it all. Don Callis family goes running, and then you end Dynamite with them standing on the ramp, and they're all just doing the typical common bad guy, good guy face-off. And that's how you go off the air, and you can't go wrong there. I liked how that went off the air. I like how Dynamite ended with the good guy, bad guy face-off there, letting us know. And then you got the Mark Davis coming back. You got the Will Hobbs coming back. The main event did a good job. It ended well. It gave us some depth in all of this, I think. But that was Dynamite. Frag Squad, that is the end of the video. I hope you guys enjoyed the AEW Dynamite recap. Please make sure you like, subscribe, leave a comment, let me know what you thought of AEW Dynamite this week. And until next time, Squad dismissed.